How do you soundproof a barking dog? You can't exactly build a wall between you and your neighbor's yard. I've thought about it. When our new neighbors moved in, their dog started barking every single morning, loud enough to wake up my kids. At first, it wasn't constant, just 2-3 minutes, maybe 5, but then it got progressively worse. 15-20 minutes of non-stop barking. And when that happens every morning, it's not a fun way to start the day. Now, before you start tearing your walls apart or buying every so-called anti-bark miracle gadget online, let's talk about what actually works and what doesn't. Now, I've tried these myself, specifically one of the small handheld ones that claims to stop barking by sending out a high-pitched frequency that only dogs can hear. And honestly, it didn't do much of anything. I tried different distances, different angles, and even waited until the dog was mid-bark, but nothing. Sometimes it flinched, but I didn't know if it was the actual frequency or just a bird. But you can buy these bigger ones that you can just put on a post, keep outside, and it will sense the dog barking and then it will throw the frequency at it. But I've yet to try that. The reviews on those ones are mixed online. Really, it depends on the breed of the dog, the distance, and also the temperament of the dog. So after realizing the gadget weren't doing much, I figured it was time to go straight to the source, the neighbors. People get weirdly defensive when it comes to their dogs. The reality is, not every neighbor is going to be reasonable, but you still have to try because sometimes they genuinely don't realize how bad it is from your side. If that doesn't work, cities have noise bylaws for a reason. They're not about punishing dog owners. They're about protecting everyone's right to a quiet home. So don't feel guilty if you need to take that step. So let's say you've talked to them, maybe even a few times, and the barking still hasn't stopped. At that point, you've got two main options. Try blocking it from outside or stop it from leaking inside. If it's your own place and your bylaw allows it, start with a solid fence. Wood, composite, or even adding mass-loaded vinyl to the inside of your existing fence can really help cut down on the barking. If you can't build a fence, maybe you're renting or you just don't want to, the next thing to do is focus on your windows. That's usually where most of the barking seeps in. Start by sealing every little air gap around the window frame. Even tiny cracks acts like a noise highway straight into your home. Use acoustic caulking, not just regular caulking, because acoustic caulking stays flexible after it dries, and regular caulking will just crack over time as the house moves and shifts, and those hairline cracks will eventually let noise in. Once that's done, the next big step is building a window plug. They're DIY friendly and surprisingly effective. You can make one using a layer of mass-loaded vinyl, or MDF for density, backed with something soft like insulation, then seal it up with some drywall. Fit it snugly into your window frame so it's airtight, and that's what really makes it work. A good window plug can easily knock down the barking noise by around 10 decibels or more. And when you're not using it, just pull it out and put it in the closet. But if you don't want a window panel and you want something cleaner, more permanent, look into acoustic window inserts. They make custom insert that mounts magnetically or with compression seals right over your existing glass. It basically adds a second layer of soundproofing without any construction at all. These works best on a single pane window because the air gap between the two layers creates a sound barrier. If you already have a double or triple pane window, you'll still hear a difference, just not as dramatic because you already have those initial air gaps between the window panes. I'll have links in the description below of everything I talk about in this video, so it makes it easier for you to buy. And this window panel insert, you can't buy it on Amazon. I'll leave a link for that website. It's called Indo Windows. A little bit more pricey, but if you have a problem and you're renting, this is the way to go. Now, a lot of people, they jump straight into buying sound deadening curtains because they seem like an easy fix. They don't actually really stop any barking noise from coming through because they're just not dense enough. Barking is made up of strong mid and low frequency sound waves that carries right through soft fabrics. Curtains can help reduce the echo inside the room by absorbing some of the reflections and make it feel calmer, but it won't really stop anything from outside from traveling inside at a dramatic difference that you would be happy with. But let's say your window isn't the problem, but it's your door. Then, well, here's what to do. Start by sealing it up just like you did with the window. Check around the corners, the frame, the threshold, and find any air gaps. Use proper weather stripping around the edge and a solid door sweep at the bottom if you can see light coming through. Now, if you own your home or have the option, one of the most effective upgrades is by adding a storm door in front of your door, because that second door adds both mass and separation, the two biggest factors in reducing this type of noise. This will create an airtight pocket or air between your main door and the new one, some of the noise from reaching the main door. A good quality storm door is built from aluminum, steel, or fiberglass and usually includes laminated or tempered glass. That extra density helps absorb and reflect barking and traffic noise, not just block drafts. If you go that route, make sure that it is sealed completely around the storm door, because even the smallest seal will make it lose all of its effectiveness. And as an added bonus, you'll also get better insulation in the winter and protection against rain and wind. And for renters who can't really install one, just focusing on tightening the existing door and making it as airtight as possible. Sometimes even a thick doormat pressed against the bottom edge of the door can help close off that last bit of space where the sound loves to sneak through. So whether it's sealing, sweeping, or adding a second barrier, tackle the door can make a huge difference, especially if it's facing the direction of where that barking is coming from. If it's not the window or the door, then it's probably coming straight through the wall. And when that happens, the only real fix is to add mass. And the easiest way to do that is by adding an extra layer of 5/8 of an inch drywall. That's the thicker stuff. It's denser than the 1/2 inch drywall, and that extra weight makes a big difference for soundproofing. And what's good is you don't need to tear the wall all apart. You just screw a new sheet right over the existing one and seal the seams with acoustic caulking. If you want to take it a step further, you can sandwich a layer of mass-loaded vinyl, also known as MLV, between the two sheets of drywall. MLV adds serious density without taking up extra space, and it helps block both mid and low frequency sounds, exactly the range of a barking dog. Just roll it over the existing wall, seal the seam with tape, then add your drywall layer over it. And once that's painted, you'd never even know it's there, but you'll definitely hear the difference, because that extra mass will help stop the wall from vibrating when sound hits it, which is what prevents barking from transferring through. If all else fails, beef up the wall. It's more work than sealing a window or adding a weather strip, but it's the one thing that'll give you a solid long-term barrier against all kinds of outdoor noise. Even after all that, sealing, adding drywall, windows, door, fences, you'll still probably hear some of the barking. That's just reality. So the next best thing is to mask what's left. What to do inside? A brown noise machine works great. Fills the room with constant background hum that makes the barking somewhat blend in. So instead of a sudden snapping your attention, it just fades into the mix. If you're dealing with outdoor noise while you're trying to relax on your patio, you can use outdoor masking instead. Things like small fountains, waterfalls, or even one of those patio water features. That constant sound of running water will mask a lot of the outside noise from your yard. So hopefully you fixed the problem. Leave me a comment down below if you've had this problem in the past, if you know somebody, or if you are a dog owner that has neighbors complaining. What have you done to mitigate the problem? Watch this video here if you really want to get deeper into soundproofing the wall and not just add drywall and mass-loaded vinyl. There's many more things that you can do to beef up a wall. That video will show you how. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, assuming you subscribed.